don't know the power of sci-fi radio.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We would be honored if you would join us.
All right, it is a Thursday, and we're back. I know we've been gone for a couple of weeks, but thank you for your patience. Explanations momentarily. Welcome to Docking Bay 94. I am Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby.
I'm Colleen Kaylee Crosby.
Jeff Solo Donoho will be joining us a little late tonight. So look forward to him. And Kit's here doing all the links for us. So yay, Kit.
Yay, Kit.
When last we left you. Oh, I should probably say, you could be listening to us on sci-fi.radio, which is sci-fi for your Wi-Fi. That's a URL, sci-fi.radio. You can go over there and check out all sorts of nifty nerd stuff. You could be watching us on Facebook or on Twitch or on YouTube. All of those things are totally cool. Wherever we like to give you options, is basically what it boils down to. All right, so we've been gone for 2 weeks, and we were just getting ready to do our usual Thursday night show, and we got a call from a really good friend of ours that her husband had gone into the hospital. And so we went to go see him, and we've been spending the past couple of weeks off and on with him and the family and whatnot. He took very ill very suddenly, and he's a really good friend in a wide variety of ways. Our friend John was a Renaissance Fair friend from old days. He joined the Rebel Legion later on, and became co-founder of the Hazard Squadron pilot group with me. He was a good husband and a dad and a scout leader, and he was in our steampunk submarine crew, the Hate Fish. And we did a lot of stuff with John. And he got sick very quickly and sadly passed away. And it's really interesting when somebody in the fan community who is that active passes away, because you keep finding more people that you need to alert. And there were so many things that John did, and so many ways in which he helped various communities. It was really kind of interesting.
The first week that Sean and I missed, we dropped everything the night of the show, like about an hour before the show, and rushed to the hospital, and were there all night and all the next day. And then we came back for a week, and then the information, because the widow wanted to hold off a little bit on the deluge that she was going to be facing once people started being informed.
Yeah.
She held the news back a little bit, and she put that out last Thursday, and the emotional toll that it took on Sean and I just... we'd been dealing with the sadness of the situation for a couple of weeks at that point, and just every time someone texted us or private messaged us or we opened Facebook or anything like that, just the rawness of it was a lot for us.
Yeah, it was. We didn't have the bandwidth to do the show last week, and I had considered the idea as suggested by Gregor of just coming on, and since they had announced that John had passed publicly, and just mentioning that, then I just thought that would be a little weird to like pop in for 15 minutes and then have to go away again, because we just didn't have the energy. It's one of those things, and we're even like kind of like removed from the whole situation. We're not direct family and stuff, and we were just hit so hard by it. A number of very close friends of John equally so. We've all been commiserating on instant messenger in various groups, and it's been kind of crazy. And so thanks for letting us take a couple of weeks off.
We appreciate it.
And if you knew John, condolences to you as well, because he was one of those guys who did lots and lots of stuff.
And it's always hard too, because you find yourself thinking, why is someone who's such a good person, why did that have to happen? So
right. And it was a sudden thing that was piggybacked on like a long-term illness, and so it was shocking, but a little less shocking, but that didn't alleviate much.
Yeah.
Which was really crazy. And yeah, so he was younger than Colleen and I are by like a year, and he did everything right, and you would think, in his life, and it.
Yeah, he ate right, and he exercised, and
and he.
All of those.
He was a good human being.
Yeah.
Genuinely good human being, and that's the thing that frustrates me, as somebody who grew up with a very sort of like faith-based home life, and whatnot. The frustration of all of this is kind of crazy, and I've been talking with some of the folks who are also very religious, and they're like, I'm kind of mad, and I'm kind of yelling at God right now, and it's just kind of it's like a terrible example of taking people before their time, and it's like, why would you take a good person off this earth? So it's some of the people I know who are very faith oriented are having frustration with it as well. It's kind of crazy, but we will
we'll remember John in all of the good ways, and every time there's like, I don't know. He was so into events that it's like every event and every time someone brews their own beer or does something piloty.
Right. Well, and it's really funny. And we had a little Zoom get together, just a couple of us, and I had to go into the cupboard and get this. John used to make his own beer all the time, and this is the Celebration 4 commemorative edition for the 30th anniversary of Star Wars. And in most cases, when John brewed something, I would drink it. But I learned quickly that if I drank it, John wanted the bottle back. He wouldn't let me hang on to the bottle. So this one remains unopened because I wanted to keep the bottle. It's got our Hazard Squadron logo in the bottom, our Rebel Legion logo in the other corner on the bottom. It's got all sorts of little Star Warsy in-jokes and things like that. And it was an awful lot of fun. So this has remained unopened for 20 years because I didn't want him to take the bottle back. So it was pretty funny. But anyway, Godspeed to John for sure. And we will remember him in everything that we do, anything that's Star Wars related, anything that's Ren Fair related. I took a trip up to Lucasfilm this last Friday, and a lot of us were talking about him up there. We went to dinner after the event and talked about John, and everybody kind of knew him in one way or another, depending on what path you traveled. And John was the guy that we all probably ought to be. Like I try to be nice to everybody and, try to be a reasonably good person. But I've got a lot of snark and I'm a bit sarcastic and cynical. John didn't have as much of that.
He did have some, though.
As I do. He had some. He not only did he have some.
It was like very humor based.
But he also had. He was a proponent of dark humor.
Yeah.
And so in his hospital room, he would go where we pretty much were certain we shouldn't go, and like talking about what kind of container he should be buried in and things like that, which was funny. One of the last things he asked me to do for him was to get him a Camtono from Disney, and I had taken him to Disney and gone to Galaxy's Edge with him and had like a really great day hanging out at Disney, but they were out of the Camtonos. He never got one, and he found a use for it for an upcoming costume. And so he set me to task. He's like, hey, next time you go, see if they have them, grab one for me. I've got this idea. And so, he's like leans over out of his bed. He's like, I'm not going to need that Camtono now. And I'm like, are you so sure? What are we going to bury you in? And he started laughing his butt off, which, it was fun. So, anyway, that's what we've been doing the past 2 weeks. And yeah, our condolences, of course, to his family. And if you're part of the Star Wars family or the Ren Fair family or any of the other families that John cultivated with all of these things that he did, the Boy Scouts or whatever, condolences there too. So he was a good guy, and he's definitely left a John-shaped hole in all of these hobbies that he was part of.
And you would think that we wouldn't have any events that we had done in the past couple of weeks because we've been dealing with this other stuff,
kinda,
but
yeah.
That's not the case.
Nope.
We did a bunch of stuff, and gosh, where to start?
Well, I mentioned I went up to Lucasfilm on Friday.
So why don't you talk about that?
So I'll bring that up. There was an offer from Lucasfilm to various fan groups to send representatives up to the Presidio, where their offices are, in San Francisco, to see the last episode of Andor, which was then going to feed into the Rogue One movie. So there's a theater on property. And just so that you guys know where I'm talking about, you've seen a lot of people take pictures with the Yoda statue. When you hear people going to the Yoda statue, that's right outside the lobby doors of Lucasfilm. And they have Industrial Light and Magic. They have their main offices there. And that whole section has sort of been theirs for quite some time. And you might have heard in previous shows where we talked about going up and getting a tour when they were celebrating Life Day back in November. Colleen and I went up and we went to the Disney Family Museum and did a bunch of stuff there. So they invited us up to do that, which it's a bit of a drive. It's about 6.5 hours to get up there and 6.5 hours to get back, and can be a little longer depending on traffic. And so I went up with a new friend that I had never met, who got a ticket as well, and I kind of wanted to carpool with a whole bunch of people, but nobody else took me up on the offer. So I went and picked up Rebs, who's from the UK and had never taken a U.S. style road trip yet. So grabbed her and we headed up, a pretty uneventful trip up. Had a really great time hanging out with people who came from much farther away than this event warranted, in my opinion. We had people from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We had people from Salt Lake City, Utah. People who flew out to do this. So it's kind of crazy. I mean, I expected the Golden Gate Garrison and the people in San Francisco to be there. Some people from L.A., maybe people a little further north to come down. I did not expect people to come in from a couple of thousand miles away. It was kind of nuts. It was great to see people. It was really cool. But kind of surprising too. I'm like, holy cow! Like, what are you doing here? And so it was nice to see how well Andor dovetailed into Rogue One. It does it quite nicely, and that very final episode really does set things up for Rogue One. And there aren't a lot of big plot hole kind of things where you're like, hey, they forgot to do this or whatever. It actually kind of blends very nicely into each other. And so when we were done with that, we went to Mel's Drive-In, of which there are 3 in the area, which is really kind of funny. And so I think everybody scattered to 3 different ones. We went to the one on Lombard Street and had a pretty good meet up with fans there, and then started to head back at about midnight, I guess. And unfortunately for me, I guess I chose the wrong path home. I thought I'd come down on the 5. We went up the other route to get there, and I thought, well, we'll take the other one back. It'll be a straight shot, no big deal. Pretty big empty highway. And so at about 3 a.m., there was a 1 foot by 1 foot by 8 foot piece of styrofoam. And you're like, oh, styrofoam. No big deal, right? No, this was like, turns out to be construction foam. It's very, very dense. It weighs about 3 pounds a square foot. And it is used in place of cement. So if you don't want to pour a lot of cement, you can build your structure out of this foam. Then you cover it in cement, and it's just as strong. So really kind of interesting thing that I did not expect to be on the road, because we were having 50 to 60 mile an hour winds, and there were wind warnings down that corridor. And then there were gusts up to 90 miles an hour. One of these gusts through this styrofoam in front of the car, and I hit it. I saw it coming. I moved over, and it moved over, and it was faster than I was, and I ran out of road on the left. I could have gone into the ditch, but that wouldn't have helped anybody. So I hit it, and I took out the front right corner of my car. Very bummed. And so there's, the fog light's gone, the parking sensors are gone, the bumper's trashed, the under car thing is gone, and apparently I lost an engine, one of the afterburner cosmetic engines off the back of my car, which is weird because I got home, I unpacked the car, I went back and forth to the car a couple times, didn't see it was missing for 3 days. It's really kind of bizarre. So that was sort of the kind of bummer thing about the trip. The trip was really great. My poor passenger had dozed off, and so she was scared, woken awake in fear, which was kind of a bummer. And it was, but we made it home without further incident, and now I have to get my car fixed. It's just really, really a drag. And it's, I brought a piece of the foam home with me because I wasn't sure anybody was going to believe me. They're like, you hit styrofoam? How bad could it be? But it might as well have been one of those big parking blocks or something, or hit a curb. And the speed limit, I tried to slow down, and I don't know to what speed I slowed down to. But the speed limit down that corridor is 70 miles an hour. So, I had been doing about that, and kind of a drag. The previous week, I had been working on set making foam weapons for the motion capture project that we were working on, and so I was using a lot of foam, and I was making all of these weapons safe for actors to hit each other with. And so I feel very insulted that the foam did damage to me.
So Don says that he hit a 35-pound turkey at 60 miles per hour and did $5,000 of damage. Was it a live turkey or a frozen turkey?
Because I'm picturing a frozen turkey.
I am too.
Yeah. And it's like...
And if it was a live turkey, then I'm picturing WKRP in Cincinnati.
Right.
The humanity.
The humanity. WKRP. Oh my gosh. Yeah, kind of crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. And in the time since we've talked to you last, I guess Sean's been to Disneyland twice. I've been to Disneyland once, which was my last time until Life Day. So,
right. I don't,
and it was my trip to Disney. We went for Sean's birthday a couple weeks ago. And, honestly, it was kind of a disappointing trip.
What?
I'm sorry. I was looking at what Don said about the turkey, and I don't think I understand it. So,
Oh, he hit a moving turkey that was live, and it spewed feathers everywhere when he hit it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah, Don said that the turkey was at an altitude of 2 feet, and when he hit it, it looked like a pillow exploded.
Yeesh. Anyway, we went to Disneyland for Sean's birthday, and it was kind of a bust because it was super hot, and even though we knew it was going to be super hot, we thought it was going to be cold in the evening, so we kind of dressed wrong, and basically we spent the day kind of moving around trying to find shade that we could sit in.
Right.
More than enjoying the park.
We've been having terrible heat waves here that come sporadically, and it's for like 2 days, and then it gets cold again. But so it'll be like 70, 75, and then it'll go to 100, and then it'll go back to being 70 or 75. I think it was about 70 today, 69, 70, and it's kind of a drag, and it is just I don't know. It's like the city's having hot flashes or something.
Yeah.
It's like really bizarre.
It was, and I mean, it was okay, but it wasn't like if this was my one day at Disneyland, I think I would have been disappointed.
Yeah.
And once it cooled down in the evening, it was nice. We went to Oga's, which we had kind of uneven service at Oga's, too.
And I meant to lodge a complaint, and I completely forgot about it, which I'm bummed about, because we got into a booth, which was nice.
I made a reservation like 2 months in advance.
Yeah, and so we got to sit down, which was nice, because almost every other time I've been to Oga's, I've had to stand at a table.
I've only sat once before.
And, but the service was kind of spotty, and then they took our drinks before we were kind of done with them.
Yeah. And they sat us at, you sit at a table with a group of other people, and they sat us at a spot that hadn't been cleaned yet, which, okay, get people in, whatever. But the wait staff came up to the table and said, "Have you all ordered your drinks?" to everybody at the table. And I said, "Well, we haven't had a chance to order. Everybody else had." And I said, "We haven't had a chance to order our drinks, and this detritus is not ours." And it felt like she was kind of pissy about it. Maybe that was just me. I'm sure she could have been having a long day. But it just it didn't feel like, oh, yeah, somebody will be out to get that. It just felt kind of, I don't know, less than pleasant. And then after a while, somebody did come out and clean it. We ordered drinks and a snack. And, yeah, they took away our drinks before we were quite finished with them.
It's not like we were going to stay a really
finished.
long time or anything. It's just like it was all very rushed and strange.
Yeah. So
Not fun.
not an experience I really am going to repeat. The drink and the snack wasn't worth it for the entertainment and the quality of service.
Yeah, it was definitely a bummer.
Yeah. And maybe that's just because I don't drink, so paying, I don't know, $10 or something for a non-alcoholic, like a fruit punch,
Yeah.
and then it being kind of snarky was like, But after that, we went straight out and sat at the Millennium Falcon waiting for the show that they have,
They have
projection show.
a Skywalker saga projection show. So there's a droid that they put in that's there all the time, up on the overhang to the far right of the Millennium Falcon, whose name is Bard, and Bard was programmed by its owner to tell stories. And when they first put him in, we're like, oh, cool. And they're like, he's going to be part of the fireworks and all this kind of stuff. We're like, oh, great. So then we watched the fireworks thing, and the whole fireworks display was just an introduction. And it's like, hey, here's the amazing fireworks thing. And they've set Star Wars music to the fireworks, which is okay. But it's the same fireworks show that people are watching over the castle. They just did music that kind of fits it. And it's doing double duty, because you've always been able to see those fireworks without music over in Galaxy's Edge. So I was a little disappointed by that. This projection show is exactly what I thought it should be, where they tell a story through the entire thing, and the visuals match it, and it goes through the whole. I think it covers the prequels in the original trilogy, and it's much better than the fireworks, I think. And
yeah, I enjoyed it.
It's really worth your time. And actually, I've never seen it too crowded, which is great. And in fact, Colleen and I tag teamed while we were waiting for the show to start. We tag teamed onto Smuggler's Run.
And there was no wait at all.
Yeah, because everybody was waiting for the show.
I didn't think Sean went first, and I didn't think that the amount of time we had left was going to do it. And Sean's like, no, you totally have enough time. Go do it. And so I dithered a little bit, and then I finally went and did it, and there was no one in line in front of me.
Yeah, she made it back in plenty of time.
Yeah.
And of course, when you do the single rider line, you're always the engineer, so it's like no big deal.
I like being the engineer, though, so
yeah, so
that's fine.
So that was actually kind of cool. And if you go to Disneyland and you're in doubt about doing the show, if you're like, I don't know, they do two shows, and one's at like 8:45 and one's at 10:15, and they're totally worth it.
Yeah, and they're two
really
different
good.
shows, right?
No, it's the projection show is the same.
Really, that's weird because they gave it two different names.
No, the second name was the fireworks in between them.
No, the show had. I'll look up what it is.
Yeah, look it up, because they give the fireworks a completely different name.
Yeah, the fireworks have a different name.
And so it's projection, fireworks, projection.
I'm going to look it up.
Having been present for both of them, they were identical.
Weird.
So,
because what I show is that I'm wrong. The projections are called Shadows of Memory.
right. And then
the fireworks are called Fire of the Rising Moon.
Yes.
Yeah, so the last part of the day was fun, but the rest of it was a lot of just trying not to be hot.
Yeah. And, we always have fun when we go together, but it wasn't quite as good as the California Adventure Day we had not too long before.
Yeah,
which was a
really
good day, which was kind of a surprise. And I went to Disneyland yesterday, and I hadn't planned to do much. Excuse me. And I got there kind of late, actually, which isn't a problem. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining at all. I had borrowed, and I think he's on the chat right now. I had borrowed a prop.
Weight bench.
Yeah, weight bench from Young. And we ended up talking about a completely separate project. So by the time I got to Disneyland, it was like 6 o'clock. And just as a side trip for what we're talking about, Young has joined Road Squadron, which is in its like 26th year or something now, and has been suggesting, as people have over the years, that we make Road Squadron a 501c3 company. My biggest thing was that I don't mind doing it, but I don't see people lining up to give us grants or donations or anything. But I don't want anybody to go into debt doing it. Like, so there are fees that are required every year that you have to do. And like, I don't want, even if it's like, say, $1,000, I don't want anyone to have to pay that. So, but I said we talk about it, and we are. He's very enthusiastic about it. He makes some good points, and is much more of a driving force for it than I am. So, yeah, we had a nice lunch, and we talked about, what we need to do to make it work and things like that. So I'll keep you guys posted on that as we do it, and see if it's a thing we can make work. But, so it could be a cool thing. And this includes the Muppet car, and it includes, any of the art cars that everybody does. We wanted to apply to all of Road Squadron. So we had a long lunch talking about that kind of stuff. And then I made it into Disneyland. I walked through the gate at 6, I think. And my friend Randy was there with his wife, Samantha. And Randy used to work at the park, as did Samantha. And they always have the best spots for parades and stuff. So they let me add in with them, which was really good. And I sat down and I watched Paint the Night, which is a parade that they had in Hong Kong. They had it at DCA. They had it at Disneyland 10 years ago for the 60th anniversary. They brought it back for the 70th anniversary. And I don't remember it very well. If you ask me anything about the Christmas parade, I can tell you about the parade and I can sing you the song. But I don't really know Paint the Night very well. I remember that it had interactive paintbrushes that lit up when the floats went by, and you had some kind of connectivity there. And I, vaguely remember what the floats look like. So I kind of watched it with fresh eyes, and it was sort of nice to do. I really enjoyed it. And as a spiritual successor to the Main Street Electrical Parade, it was good. It even kind of musically quotes the Baroque hoedown as it gets rolling.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, which is nice. And it's basically like the upgrade everything else is getting when we went from sort of incandescent lighting to LED lighting. It's like, what if we could use LED technology in the Main Street Electrical Parade? And that's what happened. So it's very bright, and it's very animated, and it was pretty cool. I just put a whole bunch of pictures up on my Facebook page, which didn't go in the directory I wanted them to go in. So I'll have to fix that. But it was a lot of fun, and of course I had a really great time hanging out with those guys. My only bad part about last night was that I missed Jeff getting off work by like 5 minutes. So he's like, I'm off work, I'm going home, and I was like in Galaxy's Edge trying to get to Tomorrowland. So I missed running into Jeff. But I did, and the thing that was my delay for meeting Jeff was one of the guys I was working with last week wanted a Mace Windu doll that just came out in Galaxy's Edge, one of the soft dolls that they sell over at the Toydarian thing. So I had gone back to get that, and it took me longer than I thought. So missed Jeff. But I got the doll.
All right. I hope it's not going to sit in our house for 2 years while you wait for the person.
No, because I think we're going to send it to him. So
okay.
It's something you can shove in an envelope and send over there.
Thank goodness.
And, yeah,
Thank
it'll
goodness.
be fine. It's for Rob, so.
Oh, okay. Let's see, what else did we do? We went to see 101 Dalmatians at the El Segundo Old Town Music Hall in 101 Dalmatian costumes.
Yeah, period appropriate stuff.
I wore, the movie came out in 1961, so I wore a 1960s dress, and then I took a capelet that has a big collar on it and covered the big collar in Dalmatian fur. Dalmatian fur, I'm not really out there skinning puppies. And Sean dressed like one of the henchmen.
Yeah, I sort of went very henchman. Here, I found a picture.
I look awful in all the pictures. Really just not very good.
Well, I don't think any of us look particularly great, so it's...
I should have had someone take a picture of the back of my hair because I was so proud that I got the 60s hair right, and you can't tell that it's the 60s hair in any of the photos.
Right.
But this is
Yeah,
better
your
than
hair
the
actually
photos I saw.
looked really, really good, and...
Yeah. Wah, wah.
This was a woman who was the voice of Lucky in the movie. So there's one puppy named Lucky who's the one who likes to watch TV. And so this woman was the voice of Lucky back when she was a little girl. And so she came out and talked about her experience and was like selling books and stuff like that. So it's fun. And that's our friend Amy on the left with her Cruella de Vil wig, which somebody thought was her real hair.
I know, that was so funny.
And so the Old Town Music Hall is this tiny shoebox of a theater. There can't be more than 100 seats in there, and but it has a theater organ in it, and in the weirdest way, the theater organ is completely painted with black light paints so that it glows. You can see how it's all kind of lit up like that. I feel like it's a thing somebody did in the 60s. But the
188 seats.
188, really?
Uh-huh.
Wow, color me surprised. And the guy who's got the microphone in there is the organist. He's amazing. He can play any music for anything.
Randy Waltz.
And he knows that organ forwards and backwards. And we have been the beneficiary of his skill back in the day when he did our old time radio shows with us, and he played the organ for the old time radio show to make sure that everything was.
He's also playing the organ or the piano maybe at the upcoming Lanterman House Summer Whites picnic on Sunday.
So anyway, I don't think we look as bad as Colleen thought we did, but. I
didn't say we. I said me.
Yeah, you.
I look dumpy.
I don't think you look that bad. So
anyway, so that was fun, and then Diane headed out home after that, and Sean and Amy and I went and grabbed a slice at the Slice and Pint. And then the next day after that, I went to my dance class, which was so much more fun. I have fun when I go to the dance class, but a lot of the times by the end of the dance class, I'm kind of frustrated and feel very anxious when I leave because by the end of it, I'm tired. The dances have gotten more difficult, and I am feeling like I'm an idiot. I keep turning the wrong direction. But we had a big group of new people this time. So the person who was calling the dances switched up everything that she had planned to do easy dances so that the new people wouldn't get super frustrated and not want to do this type of dancing anymore. And so the whole dance was really fun. I never got frustrated, and I left with a big smile on my face.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And when I got home, Sean and I ran out and saw the Thunderbolts, which was...
Asterisk.
What?
The Thunderbolts asterisk. It has an asterisk at the end of its name,
does?
which I think is really funny.
Oh, that's funny. What is the asterisk for?
The asterisk is for, and I will I think I could say this without spoiling it for anybody because they've been running all over town fixing this. At the end of the movie, they named themselves the New Avengers. So they were the Thunderbolts briefly.
Oh, I see.
And then they got named the New Avengers.
But they were the Thunderbolts for this whole movie.
Yes, they were.
So,
but in every piece of promotion for it, it's had an asterisk at the end.
that's pretty funny.
And they weren't telling you what the asterisk was until after the movie came out. And so, like, Sebastian Stan was seen running around town fixing posters in bus enclosures and things.
That's funny. I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was really kind of great.
I had more fun at this movie than I've had at an MCU theatrical release as opposed to the home viewing. I've really liked some of the home viewing shows.
We enjoyed Hawkeye and a bunch of stuff like that. Yeah.
But this was the most fun I've had in a really long time at a theater MCU movie. Highly recommended.
Definitely. It's, and you know, don't take
Go
see
it
seriously.
even though Sean spoiled the whole thing.
It didn't spoil the whole thing.
Just kidding.
It's I blame Disney for spoiling the whole thing because it had just come out. Like the day it came out, they were posting these videos running around, and so
yeah, man, you got to see stuff quick nowadays, or it just I never understand the rapidity of the it's okay to have spoilers because it's been out for 10 minutes now.
Well, and
you've
that
seen it by now.
It was a huge problem with Andor season 2.
Totally.
Where people basically just stopped caring about spoiler space. Really drove me nuts because 30 minutes after the episode aired, people were making memes and posting pictures and doing all of that kind of stuff. Just kind of nuts.
Anyway,
for an admin thing, Colleen, just to let you know, we closed out a Zoom because there was no activity in 40 minutes.
Oh, he said he was going to be 15 minutes late.
I know.
So that's why I opened it.
We haven't heard from Jeff yet, but
okay.
I've joined your meeting anytime you want to re-up it.
Okay, I will do so. What I was going to say was, I don't know what I was going to say. That was the last week that we missed, and then this last weekend, well, Sean did the Presidio, and I went to the LA Yarn Crawl, which is, you know how there's a pub crawl? It's like that, where you go to different locations and you can get, instead of you getting a beer, you can buy yarn.
You get like a skein of yarn.
Yeah. And I only went to the one location because listener Kelly and her sister Heather were there selling little bags that you can carry your yarn and your accessories in.
Oh, that's fun.
So I picked up a cute little bag. I think I'm going to give it to my mom. I was going to keep it myself, but it just seems to be telling me that it is, oh, there's Jeff now, that it is my mom's. And some really cute little charms that you can use as yarn markers or something. I'm not sure, but they're cute little charms, so I got those too. And this was really convenient for me. I just jumped up on my lunch break, and it's like, I don't know, 3 miles down the street, maybe less. I'm not good at judging how far a mile is. So super convenient.
The shop that's right down Manchester?
Yeah, the yarn, the knitting tree.
It's about 3 miles. Yeah. It's next to a brewery.
It is, in fact, next to a brewery. So if you are like our friend Lori, who makes those emotional support chickens like they're going out of style. She's like, I feel like every 3 or 4 days, she has a picture on her Facebook page about a new emotional support chicken.
She's good at it, and she's fast.
Yeah. And I don't know if you guys have heard of emotional support chickens. They are, somebody who works at the knitting tree is the one who came up with this idea, I think. They're all over the country now, and there's Facebook groups for them, and there's kits you can buy. But when I first started going to the Knitting Tree, you would just see, like, up at the top, they had these shelves at the top, and there were all these chickens.
Right.
And they were emotional support chickens, and they taught classes in them. And you can get kits now that are either for knitters or crocheters. And they're just so you can make a stuffed chicken because times are hard and people need an emotional support chicken.
It's kind of a socially acceptable teddy bear.
Yeah.
Because it's not like if you're wandering around with a teddy bear, people look at you funny. But an emotional support chicken is really funny, like on its own.
It is.
And there's like no connotation to being you. Nobody had these when they were a kid, so nobody's going like, grow up.
Yeah. And then on Saturday, I went to Customers Guild West is having a series of picnics. And the picnic that they had on Saturday was so cool. There were 7 of us who went to the park in Cheviot Hills that has an archery range where for free, not just because we were there with our guild, but like they do this for everybody. So any of you who live locally can totally go do this. I highly recommend it. It was so much fun. You go in and the archery range instructor for free gives you a lecture on range safety and then teaches you the basics of how to use a bow and arrow in these modern times. And then they loan you a bow, a handful of arrows, a quiver to put them in, an arm guard so that the string doesn't slap your wrist. It doesn't slap you and hurt you, and a puller thing so that your fingers don't get hurt while you're doing it. And then they have you all go and you line up behind. There were like 5 or 6 volunteers who were instructors, and each one of us, there were 7 of us, and then there were like 15 other people who were also just there at the same time. And you line up, and then they just call the next person, and they give you individual instruction on how to shoot the arrow. And then and all throughout the whole thing, they're giving you additional safety lectures. Like they'll stop and say, I had no idea the time you're most likely to get hurt while you're doing archery is when it's not that you're going to get shot. I mean, you have to make sure that you don't do something stupid and get shot. But it's when the arrows are in the target and you go looking to pick up your arrows, people like run straight into the arrows and get stabbed through the back. Like the back of the arrow is just as dangerous as the front. And people will not see the arrow because like it's too head on to the target, or they're not concentrating, or they have open-toed shoes and there was one laying on the ground that they didn't see.
That's why you approach the target from the side.
Well, I mean, but there's a whole wall of targets, so it's
Right.
not like you can entirely do that. But anyway, they gave us lots of safety tips. And then, so they gave all of it, this whole thing was free. And then they gave us a card with our names on it. And it enables us to go back 2 more times, borrow all the equipment for free. And then after we've used our 3 times up, you go back for $5 a day and use the equipment again for $5. That's nothing.
That's pretty cool.
And it can be, if you want to do it more than every once in a while, it's $35 for a year. So crazy. And then our group had a picnic afterwards. It was really fun. Hi, Jeff. Sorry to just like keep going and not stop and say hi to you.
Howdy. I don't know if anyone can hear me.
Ooh.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I think
Yep,
it needs to be
sounds
turned
bad.
up.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. You can? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Howdy. I just got home.
spur of the moment after the archery picnic, which, oh my gosh, everybody brought really good food, and they had picnic tables right there in the archery range. So I had mentioned, like, I don't know, Friday or Thursday, I had mentioned, hey, there's an exhibit at the Getty that's closing. It's only going to be open for like a couple more days. Does anybody want to go with me? I'm already paying for parking, so totally free, just if you have the afternoon. And one of my friends took me up on it, and so we jumped in the car and headed over to the Getty and got to see a really great exhibit. And I've forgotten the name of the artist. That's awesome. I'll look it up and tell you guys later.
Oh, okay.
But it was fun. It was
okay.
I was exhausted at the end of the weekend, though.
Yeah, it's for
imagine.
people who have been wiped out. We have done an awful lot in the past couple of weeks. Gustav Kayabot?
Yes, Kayabo.
Kayabo.
Yes. Who, it's really very amusing because the whole exhibit is like, oh, it's very unusual for the time period that he's in that he only painted, well, he mostly painted men. And he painted men like, sometimes he even painted them naked. And they're always men that are like enjoying each other's company. And we don't understand why he's doing that. It was very amusing.
There's a big battle going on over this artist where some scholars have posited that he was gay. Some are fighting this, that he's gay, despite that his primary focus seems to have been men in his painting. His
paintings of women, the women are not attractive.
Right, they're not flattering, whereas the paintings of men are.
Yeah.
And so there is no information as to whether or not he was gay or not. There's no information about his proclivities, his love life, anything. They just don't know. He was a wealthy man who didn't need to paint for a living. He did it for enjoyment. And there was a huge exhibit fairly recently at the Musée d'Orsay in Paris. And they were fighting so hard to go, no, he was not gay. He was very
so gay,
very heterosexual. And I guess there are some American scholars who were like, yeah, we think the chances are pretty high that he was gay. And they're like, no, the Americans are crazy.
I mean, technically none of my business how he wanted to live his life. That was up to him. He's gone now, whatever. But yeah, I thought it was very, I don't know, it felt very disingenuous of the exhibit to tiptoe around like that.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Well, and the whole exhibit is called Painting Men.
Yeah. It was a good exhibit. I enjoyed it. And also, while we were looking for the exhibit, we got lost and wandered into the wrong gallery and saw some great art that is just always up at the Getty, or at least I think I've seen some of it before at the Getty. But it's always great for people who like to do historical costuming to wander in and see paintings of people in previous time periods.
And
Super
the
fun.
grounds are lovely up there, and it's the whole thing.
Oh my
is
gosh, the view
nice
from up there is
experience.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. In case anybody wants to go to the archery, it's the Easton Rancho Park Archery Range in Cheviot Hills.
Oh.
Highly recommended. Go do it.
Well, there you go. I could use a refresher course. Jeff has a Hawkeye costume. He should learn to use a bow.
Yeah, we should go.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have that anymore, but yeah.
DB94 day.
I have. I don't think I have functional usable arrows in the garage, but I have at least 2 bows. I think.
Well, you have to start by learning with
a longbow in the garage.
their bows because they don't want you to start on a longbow.
Yeah.
They want you to start on a convex. No, what did you tell me?
Recurve.
Recurve bow.
Yeah. Your recurve.
Yeah.
Which is what we have in the garage. But of course, ours are old. I have. You ever see a baseball bat splinter in the middle of a baseball game? I have done that to a bow, where I have basically been at the target. I've knocked an arrow. I've pulled it back, and the bow just splinters. It has reached its age limit, and it is gone. So, always
Gotcha.
fun.
So, Jeff, how was the Yorba Linda Library?
It was good. We had a pretty big turnout of kids and stuff and family coming in to the event, so that was good. I think we had about I want to say 13 people, 12 or 13
Characters.
costumers.
Oh, that's nice.
But
I was supposed to
not
go.
crowded.
I didn't go.
Yeah.
I had broken my car the night before and was tired, and
Yeah.
I was thinking of going, and then I fell asleep, and no decisions were made that day.
Yeah. But otherwise, it was good. You know, it was a good event. You know.
Well, and all of us went to Western Day, old West Day,
Roselle's Western Day.
Yeah. Which was kind of fun in the Irvine Park, where we all dressed in Western costume. I don't remember where those pictures went. Did she post them on her Facebook page? I'll have to go.
I'm
see
sure there's some somewhere.
I'll go see if I can
I
find
think
them.
Unless they're
Amy
posted in the
posted
event.
some.
I'll have to
look.
go see. I know there's a few posted on our Discord, so I'll have to see if we can find them.
Okay. Oh yeah, no, I found them.
But yeah, okay.
See, Colleen felt that the pictures of her at the 101 Dalmatians were less than flattering. My pictures here, for sure.
Well, you also were
flattering.
hobbling
about that?
around.
Yeah, I threw my back
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
and that's been a big problem.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
past
you're fine.
week. So, but yeah, so we did West Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I specifically
And then,
did not a cowboy.
Yeah. So it was fine. We had other stuff we did there. We after you folks left. We had because there's a barbecue and food, and stuff you could do on the tables, you know. But also they did a sack race and
Who won the sack race?
one of the friends trying to remember his first name, Joe, I think Joe.
Okay.
And then and then there was a little the horse race, you know, the little
Right, the horse on a stick.
Yeah.
This is a picture of the watermelon eating contest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kai
yeah.
judged it.
Yeah, he looks very confused.
I was like, you kids have fun with that watermelon. I can only eat so much.
I didn't have
only
any
a small amount
either.
that all gets bad.
Here we go. This is
So,
the group shot. Colleen and I are hidden behind everybody.
And Jeff is hidden behind us.
Right.
Yep, that's fine. But it was fun, you know. It was a pretty fun. I think Rose wants to try to have it possibly at a different location next year.
Why is that?
Because of all the people that kept wandering over into our area and everything, or
Yeah,
that
I
kind of
mean,
stuff.
it is a wilderness style park, but you can go anywhere for that. So it's not like we were at an old Western village or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So there's probably other locations she can go.
Yeah,
it's not exactly Western, but across from Knott's is the Independence Hall. And could always
to finish my 18th century.
Do it over there, and then is the shopping area still over at Knott's, where they used to have an old Western shopping area?
That's been gone for a really long time, hasn't it? Or is it?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, not that I know of. I don't know what. There's the normal shops they've had forever.
But
not
there
really
used
old-
to be
not really
shops
Old West.
across the street from there that looked ye old westy. I don't think they've been there for a long time though.
Yeah, it's been I don't know how many years. But the
There's us.
I mean, there's plenty of parks like that we can go to other than Irvine Park because it's just a bit of a hassle. Just also getting to the spot
Right.
because of they were painting the sign that hung over the road.
Well, and
that went in.
there was a whole road that was closed off entirely, and which was I don't know if it was closed just because they were painting that sign.
Yes,
it was a real pain to get to the location. So we can find somewhere else.
Turn here and there.
There used to be a place in Buena Park or somewhere near there that was an Old West kind of shopping area.
There's a place near Joshua Tree called Pioneer Town.
Gone.
Oh, rude.
So the shop that used to be down and they were talking Western looking place in
there were antique shops and stuff.
Buena Park. I think I don't know if that's there anymore. I know that Adventure City area is still there. That has like the tree that has the Cabbage Patch store and stuff. That's all still where it was. But I think they want to stick with the cookout sort of thing theme with picnic tables too.
Well, I was just thinking that so I remember this mall that was like a little shopping area that was like a Western themed shopping area with boardwalks and old looking buildings and stuff like that. They also had a park area there because we used to do Civil War reenactments there. And so you could have entire camps there in this park and then like go next door to this Western town-ish thing. But I can't figure out where to... I'm looking for like Old West Mall in Orange County, and it's giving me the Village at Orange.
No.
And they're giving me...
I don't know.
The Old World Village.
You could go to Julian,
that's
but that's
definitely
kind
not
of a
Old
drive.
West. But yeah.
Julian or Calico, both far. Long
Yeah.
directions. It's 8:00, Sean.
It was. Yeah.
Alrighty. I will remind all y'all that you are listening to sci-fi.radio if you're hearing the show over there. Sci-fi.radio is there 24/7. We've got Otto, our auto DJ, who does stuff when those of us who have live shows are not doing live shows. I have a morning show from 9 to 11 you can tune into. It's music history. And you can play it on Alexa or Google or any of those things that all you need to do is tell it to play sci-fi.radio, and it will. It's amazing. You could be watching us on YouTube or Twitch or Facebook. Any of those things are cool. Grateful to anybody who's been hanging out with us tonight. Sorry we've been gone for a couple of weeks, but things have been crazy in life. So thanks for your patience, and we are glad to be back. I think we've finally recharged the batteries enough to be able to do it.
Pioneer Town is still in existence. The internet tells me it is.
Okay.
The internet has been known to be wrong, though.
Maybe. I'm Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby.
This is Jeff Donoho.
I'm Colleen Kaylee Crosby.
And I mean there are a few.
It's too far away for Rose
for
to want
what
to go
Rose
that
wants
far.
to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think that's it. Unless Jeff, you have something about grass.
Gosh, what did I put down? Did I just write grass there or something? Oh, I sure
Apparently.
did. Okay.
Well, you don't have to talk about grass.
Yeah,
if you don't
it
have
was
anything to say.
I don't I don't know if I talked about this or not. It's just the there's a patch next to the shed, and I dug it up with a Maddox, which is much like a pickaxe, and weeded it and cleared it out, and then threw down a whole bunch of grass seed, and then covered it with topsoil that I could, and it's slowly sprouting grass now. So like my little experiment to slowly edge through the backyard and grow grass is going to come to fruition. It's just taking time.
Awesome.
Our grass is all clover.
Yeah.
Our gardeners don't care. So we
see,
also
there you go.
don't care. It's like, that's pretty funny.
Ooh.
All right.
There you go.
Okay, so Star Wars.
Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, we only have one birthday in there. That's good. That makes it easier.
Yeah, but it's a big birthday.
May 19th, 1944. Peter Mayhew was born.
Woo-hoo.
And, Chewbacca.
There
you go.
It's really funny. I've been seeing a lot of stuff about Peter Mayhew lately in Facebook, and the thing that really strikes me is how absolutely accessible and friendly he was to everybody. We drove all the way to Orlando, and we had our cars outside waiting to get into the Orlando Convention Center. And the very first person we met, we parked all our cars, we got out of our cars, and up rolls Peter Mayhew in a mobility scooter. Comes up, says hi, hangs out with us for a while. He's like, I don't know where I'm going either. It was great. Jeff and I ran into him at one of the.
That.
Yeah, we ran into him at one of the premieres. Coming out of there,
I think so.
I think it was right after some guy thought you were actually Harrison Ford, which was
that could have been that one. Yeah,
was great. Do you remember that? Some guys like trying to be really respectful and cool to. I'm like, I think he thinks you're really Harrison Ford.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. Yeah,
which was really funny. And then we ran into to Peter.
Force Awakens. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, so funny.
Yeah.
Absolutely nuts. Yeah, Peter.
I think I had the Han jacket on or something at the time.
Whatever it was, you looked enough like Harrison Ford that this guy was convinced. That was great.
Yeah.
So very funny. Yeah, I miss Peter very much so.
Yeah.
This is a big week for Star Wars.
Back over here. I'm sorry.
It's okay. This is a big week for Star Wars.
Yeah, I know. May 21st, 1980, Empire Strikes Back opened in theaters. Woo!
So if you saw it opening week, you saw it 45 years ago. 45 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
May 19th, 1999, the Phantom Menace opens in theaters as well.
26 years ago.
26, yeah, see? All these old people.
I remember what a big deal it was, the new Star Wars movie, and Colleen was great.
I know.
Colleen got tickets for everybody in my department at work.
Wow.
I was working at a software company. We decided we were all going to go as a group shortly before I got fired, and we all went as a mob.
Wasn't that when we went the second day?
Yeah.
And I stood in line for like 13 hours or something like that.
Something like that. We had already seen it, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, we
wanted to see it at the Chinese.
Yeah. Exactly. And then we saw it with because the office was like, let's all go, and so Colleen bought all the tickets. I
didn't pay for all the tickets.
No. You were reimbursed.
Don't get me wrong.
We didn't have that kind of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Not at all.
By gosh. Okay. Last one. is May 17th, 2017, is when Rogue One won Movie of the Year at the MTV Movie Awards. MTV.
And even though it did
Yeah.
that in May, Rogue One was part of the new Star Wars release cycle where they released these movies in December, which I'm still
Yeah.
not used to. Put them back in May. Come on. The heck? Summer movie. December. I think they just got really...
Yeah.
They thought that they had enough good movies to release in the summer, and that they should just release the Star Wars, which they considered a sure thing, over the Christmas season.
Okay.
So, I'm not convinced.
But that's the anniversary.
Woohoo!
Okay.
There you go.
The last Star Wars thing we have is about a new product that somebody's going to kickstart soon called a Twist Saber. Did you guys look at the little video for this?
Yeah, there are a whole bunch of products that are going on right now that are different ways to do lightsabers. And one of them you can buy at Target. It's $60. It's motorized, and it's got a telescoping blade that pops out and pops back in. And this is a similar thing. I don't know how fancy these are going to be, but there are similar things that you can print. You can 3D print that will let you extend and retract the lightsaber blade. And so these ones don't seem to have lights or anything. The Kickstarter's not yet up, so we don't have all the information on it. But instead of the sort of snap that you used to do for lightsabers, and we've had a lot of toys like that, that basically the bottom pommel of the lightsaber rotates, and as you rotate it, it has a worm gear in it that extends the entire blade out. And it's pretty
neat.
It's neat.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. And they've managed to make it work with a bunch of movie style designs. And so each segment of the blade has one of these worm gears in it, and it drives the thing up so that it extends out the way a lightsaber ought to, and then it retracts in. They don't light up yet, and maybe they will. There's a lot of different things you can do with it. But, as far as a toy goes, it's pretty great. I have one on the shelf over here from when I was doing lightsaber training for Lucasfilm and Cartoon Network. That it's a larger size handle. The handle is almost twice as big as it should be, and it's got a trigger on it. And you pull the trigger, and it launches the blade out. And so it's like any other missile toy that you've ever had, except in this case, the missile thing is attached to the end of the blade. And so you click it, and it goes chunk, and it launches. And then you have to close it by hand to get it back to, square one.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, toy companies have tried to do this kind of thing. But this is pretty clever, and we'll see what they do. It just says Kickstarter coming soon. You can go to twistsaber.com and check it out. And they've got a little video thing there. And it says already that Twist Saber 2 is coming. I had no idea there was Twist Saber 1. But when their Kickstarter goes up... Twist Saber 2, fast extending blade, patent pending, but all of their handles look like actual movie lightsabers, so I don't think they're going to be able to patent.
Get their patent.
They can patent the mechanism, but they can't patent the handles that they're doing. There's a bunch of followers, but they haven't launched it. They haven't said what it's going to cost. But
it looked fun.
Yeah, and they're apparently going to make a mass-produced version that isn't 3D printed, that looks, of higher quality. Yeah, so we'll have to see. I mean, I'm all for weird, goofy stuff like this, and the ones at Target, I've been really tempted to check them out, but they're like $60. And I'm like, ugh, it just seems too expensive.
Theme parks. There is a ride that opened in 2004 at SeaWorld called Journey to Atlantis, which is a water roller coaster. And it was refurbished, and now they're reopening it. So if you are into roller coasters, particularly watery ones, head on down to San Diego.
So the issue with that ride is it had a lot of nifty things in it. Like they had, like, I guess, animatronics and all this other cool stuff that they had in there, and it was deemed too scary. So they took virtually everything out of it. All show elements have been taken out of it, pretty much.
Too scary.
And so now you just sort of, yeah. And you ride this little lift thing in a water thing. It's starts out sort of roller coastery and water at the same time. You know,
That's
go
just
up and you
sad.
go up this elevator thing takes you up, and then you ride down, woo, splash. But it still has theming as a structure, you know, like this Atlantis structure stuff, but everything that they had in it that actually gave it the show element is gone. So I don't know what they could have done to fix it. Who knows?
We'll have to see. I guess that's really kind of a bummer. I mean, I get bummed when Disney does that, when they did things for like Extraterrestrial Encounter and things like that.
Oh, that was a bummer. That was a good ride.
But
I mean, it was so scary that I refused to go on it a second time,
Right.
but it was still really good.
it was really great. But the you know, somewhere like SeaWorld that doesn't have anything else like it, like, you know, Disneyland, you're like, oh, they took it out, but there's other cool stuff to go do. SeaWorld is less so.
Okay.
That's kind of a bummer. So hopefully they put a bunch of cool stuff back, or
That's a bum.
I don't know, even use like cool projections or something. I don't know. Maybe they've come up with something
Yeah.
really cool.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Disneyland came out with a new map for the 70th anniversary, and it is to help you. It's a family adventure map, and so it's basically for it. It's cartoony, so kids will like to look at it, and it also shows things like where the family bathrooms are and which family-friendly rides there are. And these are the maps that they hand out when you first walk into the park. Although I don't think they hand them to you anymore.
You have to go get them.
You have to go get them. They're usually right near the bridges of the train on either side. But it's a cute map.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I'm showing it on the video. And so I was just there yesterday, of course. I did not pick one of these up. So I'll have to get one next time I see it, just because they're doing a lot of really interesting interactive stuff because of the 70th anniversary. And a lot of it is in that sort of like magic key kind of realm, or magic band kind of realm, where, you know, you get a thing and it interacts with the environment and that kind of stuff. And so if they tell you where to go to do that kind of stuff, that's pretty good. But yeah, this map is pretty funny, and bits of it are wildly inaccurate.
Yeah, well, I think it was more done to be cute than to really
Be super functional.
Yeah, I think that it'll get you close enough
Right.
so that you'll be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. I wanted to go find some of the interactive stuff yesterday, but my focus was really the paint the night thing, and so I did most of that. And the only place I went that wasn't Main Street is I went into Tomorrowland quickly at like 10 o'clock, looking to see if Jeff was around, and I didn't see you, so I walked over to Galaxy's Edge, and then I walked back to Tomorrowland, but you had left by the time I went to Tomorrowland.
So speaking of interactive things, the big toy for the 70th anniversary is a Disneyland key.
Yep.
And it's this big plastic key that it's $60, if I recall correctly.
It is.
And you take it around to different parts of the park, like each land, I guess, and stick it in the keyhole that corresponds to that land.
Yeah.
And a light will come on that shows you, like a thing happens interactively,
Yes.
and then that light comes on. And once you've done all of them, the key opens and you get a pin that is a blind box pin.
Right. It's
Of
one
something.
One of 9.
One of the lands.
One of 9 pins.
Yeah.
But could you imagine paying $60 to get one blind box pin? I mean, you get all the other excitement of like seeing the light come on and
Yeah, I mean it tallies up these things as you go. And although, to be fair, if you can buy one, walk out of Disneyland, and there's a little pinhole that you can like tally the things up without actually doing the activity.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because what if you don't finish? You don't get your pin, right? What if you're not
Well, I mean, you could do it with a hammer.
gonna come back?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the
You
idea.
get your pin.
the
Could you
idea-
imagine paying
Yeah, there you
$60
go.
and then having
You're not
it?
supposed to smash the thing.
Right.
You're supposed to use it up.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see in this picture here how there are little icons there as you do each of the locks. Seeing it in person is much better than seeing it online. It actually looked pretty kind of fun.
Oh,
And
cool.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure, but it may have also interacted with the parade last night. The person I was going to ask, who they had theirs out and they were like
Waving it around?
ready for it, but they left before I could talk to them.
Oh.
The biggest problem with me is I hate blind box stuff, and you never know what key you're going to get. Although there, I think, is at least one pin trading board that is just these key pins.
Wow.
So if you have one that you don't want, or
Okay.
you get a double one, or things like that, you can do them out. They only have this one picture on the Disney site, which is a bummer. So there are little stations in every land that you can go in and do it. And
The document has a link with a little video.
yeah, it's got a little video though, which is the problem.
Oh.
And it's like it's some guy's TikTok thing, so it's vertical, and it was a real pain in the butt when I tried to load it up.
Oh.
It doesn't lend itself well to what we're doing here. So I was trying to find something else.
Okay.
And but yeah, I mean it's people seem to be having a pretty good time. The first
Oh,
couple
that's good.
days they were sold out of them. They went really fast before they could restart, and
Yeah.
I saw quite a few of them running around yesterday. Although I saw a guy just taking pictures or videos or something of the keyholes and not actually doing like doing the key thing, which was really kind of strange. So
Gotcha.
I don't know. It and of course they are all over this secondary market. Which is funny. And
Oh,
people
yeah, of
Probably
course.
for a lot more than $60.
well, people are buying them and then getting the pin and then trying to sell the key without the pin
Yeah, without the pin.
People are
Yeah.
mean.
for like $35. And so
They're telling people that
yeah,
that's what
yeah.
they're doing.
So
Oh,
you
okay.
go on eBay and it's like Disneyland 70th anniversary key with no pin.
Yeah.
I mean,
And then somebody's trying to sell an entire set of the pins for $1,250.
Of course.
Right. Because, people are greedy.
okay, so that's all
yeah.
about that.
I wanted to mention something about Disneyland while I was thinking about it. I put it in my notes up above to talk about earlier, but didn't see it. So I got to Disneyland. I got on the tram. I got off at the loading area, and I started walking towards Disneyland. The lines were very, very long because of 70th anniversary stuff. But if you get in a line that people know what they're doing, or they all have magic bands, or they've got the keys ready or whatever, you actually kind of go through pretty quick because they put new turnstiles in that will take your magic band plus, or will take your phone, and you do it yourself now. So self checkout has come to Disneyland, and so you check yourself into the park with your phone or with your magic band, and there is a person there in case you run into trouble, but it's essentially like checking yourself out at CVS or Target or Costco or wherever you use a self checkout
How does
register.
that work
Gotcha.
when you do the first time you go in and they take your picture?
That's when someone steps in.
Oh, okay.
But I think you scan your ticket first, and then they'll step in. There is a screen there that shows you your picture as you go in, and that may be set up to take your picture.
Oh.
I don't know. I haven't seen anyone do it yet.
Okay.
But it may be completely automated based on that new scanner that they've got. I'll have to look into it. But going into before I got to the park, they have changed the music in the concourse between the two parks, and they've been playing attraction music and all that kind of stuff, which has been fine. I don't remember what the lead-in song was, but I heard like Soarin' Over California or some kind of ride attraction music that was just fine. And then I heard some kind of music box music, little sort of plinky, almost ice cream truck kind of music. And it played, it was from some ride or some license that I didn't really identify, because I completely forgot whatever it was, because the follow-up one that it went into was Star Wars. And so it's like Star Wars music box, plinky, it's very slow, and it's creepy. It's not like, yay, Star Wars, how cool. It's like Freddy Krueger is going to show up dressed like Darth Maul and take me out.
Wow.
It's like that creepy. And I almost recorded it, but there was so much background noise I didn't do it. Maybe I'll do it for a subsequent show. It's weird. It's really, really weird, and I don't think it's giving the vibe that they want. And I don't understand why they're going with this music box music. It doesn't make sense to me. Where, like, having the attraction music is fine, even if they wanted to reorchestrate a whole bunch of stuff for the 70th anniversary and do something different. Okay, great. It's just creepy as heck. There is nothing about it that, like, it's not music I want. I don't want to go get it. Whereas, like, if I go to Avengers Campus, they play a loop of all the hero music, and I'm like, this is cool. I want this on my MP3 player. No, I want to run far away from this music. It's just not right. Really
That's too
strange.
bad.
It was really, really weird. Anyway, I noticed it on the way out and on the way in, and then I caught the same portion of it on the way out to the tram. And it just reconfirmed that I don't like it. Really weird.
Okay.
So they've got a new Jack
Skellington.
Okay, Skellington. My brain was trying to take the N out of that.
Right.
It wasn't working.
Well, his name is Skeleton with additional letters, so I could see you
Skellington.
trying to want to do it.
It is a less creepy costume that's going to be coming to Disney theme parks for the Halloween events this year.
In previous years, Jack Skellington has been a full head appliance that allows an actor's mouth to stick out the bottom. He kind of looks like an evil light bulb. It's the wrong shape for Jack Skellington. It's never been good. People have been really happy to take pictures with him, but I've avoided him like the plague because he's just scary as heck. I've got a picture up on the video here. So on the left is the old one. They have completely revamped his costume, made it look more like the character. And then the head itself is now a head, like a full round-headed thing with an articulated jaw.
Looks way better.
It's so
Yeah.
much better.
Much less creepy.
Yes, no more evil light bulb.
And then the last thing we have about theme parks is in Disneyland Paris, they have got a light speed lounge. So after you go on
Wow.
Hyperspace Mountain or Star Tours The Adventure Continues, you can get a drink or a Star Wars themed snack in the lounge light speed. They don't have a Galaxy's Edge there, so this is like a consolation prize, I
Their
think.
Galaxy's Edge got canceled,
Yeah.
which is just rude.
It's tragic.
Yeah, it was like not
It's going to
cool.
be Frozen Land instead.
Not cool at all.
Yeah.
And there's another thing that was announced for sort of related to Walt Disney World and Disneyland Paris, which is
Yeah.
there are now straight flights from Charles de Gaulle Airport to Orlando. So apparently Air France has not had this before. They're doing it like on a test basis. They're doing it like 4 times a week. It's like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. And I looked into it, and it looks like you can get flights for if you want the straight through flight with no stopover, no transfer. That is about $400 and up, which isn't terrible. That's one way. But if you want to do one with a stop, it's like $300 and up. This is economy class, of course. So I mean, you can do a trip to Paris from Orlando for under $1,000 round trip.
Yeah, but if you're
Okay.
here and you have to get to Orlando first,
Yeah, that's the
that's a bit of
problem.
a trick.
I don't know what when we went to Paris, we flew to New York first, and then went New York to Paris.
Yes.
Gotcha. Hey,
Sean, can you take the rest? Oh, go
I
ahead,
had a
Jeff.
question for you, Sean.
Sure. What's that?
Sorry. The music box sound, did it have singing or was it just a music box?
It was just music. There was no singing.
Okay.
And it didn't.
Okay.
The thing that initially confused me was that every piece of music they had seems to have come from one of the other theme parks somewhere. And so if you hear Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow, it's the thing that they played on the Carousel of Progress. You recognize it. It's the thing
Okay.
that they still use in Florida with their Carousel of Progress. It like made sense. Or Soarin' Over California, or This Is the Land, or like whatever. And you recognize it. I didn't recognize this from anything. And the first one, like I didn't really recognize whatever the first lead-in piece was. And then to go into Star Wars was even more confusing, because I can't think of any Star Wars Disney thing that uses this music box lullaby thing. It is so slow and so plodding that it's just crazy. I forget what they call that area in between the parks. It's not concourse. It's something else.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I was curious that if I can think of anything, I'll look up find it. But yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's one of those things where I'm used to recognizing that even when they play like holiday music, it's regular holiday music, and you're like, oh, okay, great. And then they mix it with their Haunted Mansion, Nightmare Before Christmas crossover, and there's like Disney holiday stuff mixed in there, and that makes perfect sense. This didn't seem to come from anywhere. Esplanade, thank you.
Weird. Okay. Okay.
Let me see if I can find it.
Okay.
'Cause, I will play it. It's just so bizarre. And I'm sure it's connected to the Disney 70th for some reason. But whoever thought this was great, I think missed the mark. And that's just my opinion. You guys may go listen to it and go, "Oh yeah, I think it's awesome."
That is possible.
But I think it's just creepy as heck. Disneyland's 70th Esplanade music is now on streaming.
Okay.
All right. Well, let me see if I can
Interesting.
find the that music.
The wrench on the works.
Yeah. Oh, this is TikTok though. This is not whatever.
No.
I'll have to
Yeah.
poke around.
Probably find it eventually. Yeah. Ow, ow, itchy. Okay.
So, Sean, do you want to take the rest in peace section?
I will. Let's see. Doopa-doopa-doo. We had music agent David Shapiro passed away, and the drummer from Devil Wears Prada. Really? Sorry, I can't read the article. Apparently passed away in a plane crash.
Yeah.
This past week. Let me see if I can find a better news link than the one in our document, because, well, let me see it. So the pilot, I guess, was Dave Shapiro, and Daniel Williams was the drummer for the metal band, and there were 6 people who died when the plane hit a power line in San Diego.
Yikes.
And went down. No one on the ground was hurt, but I think everyone in the plane passed away, which was a bummer. And so Shapiro worked for Sound Talent Group as an agent for those guys. Let's see. Denise Alexander passed away at the age of 85. A soap opera actress, General Hospital, and
okay.
Days of Our Lives, and whatnot. And it goes back to the 1950s when she was on Broadway. She was in the Children's Hour, guest starred in The Twilight Zone and Danny Kaye and Father Knows Best, and then got hooked into soap operas with one called The Clear Horizon, and she enjoyed soap operas so much she just kept doing it. So she did Emergency Hospital. She went over to General Hospital, but not as the character that she became known as later on. She played some completely other character. And then when she went to Days of Our Lives, from 1966 to 1973, she was in Days of Our Lives. And when she decided to leave, her fans got pissed. And everybody got mad, and so she and then later on in her other soap opera, her other character died, and so she kept building these really great characters, and then they would get killed off, and people would get really mad. At the age of 60, we lost WWE star Sabu. Was a wrestler who fought up against John Cena and whatnot. His real name was Terry Brunk, and but they haven't said what he passed away from yet, which is kind of weird. But he's been there since 2006 with the revival of it, and so I had a really long career with it. But yeah, and he was one of the guys who got crazy with stuff and tried to do more and more outlandish stuff. So he was one of those, I'm fighting with furniture, I've got barbed wire, I've got all this stuff. He was kind of nuts. So he's kind of remembered for that. And then the big one this week, at the age of 76, George Wendt passed away in his sleep. Of course, he played Norm in Cheers. He was in the Black or White Michael Jackson video opposite Macaulay Culkin as the bad dad. George Wendt got 6 Emmy nominations. He never won an Emmy for Cheers, which is really a bummer.
Boo.
Before he did Cheers, he was in Taxi, he was in Soap, he was in MASH, and he was in all 275 episodes of Cheers. Never missed a one.
Yeah.
And he said he went into audition for Cheers just sort of as himself. And he's like, he said he was very much like Norm, but Norm had better writing. Anyway, he had like a really extensive career, which is funny because you think of him as super recognizable, but he did a lot of like character bit part stuff. So he's got 173 credits to his name.
Yeah.
And he guest starred in all of this stuff. So, you know, even after Cheers, he was working a lot. But he passed away in his sleep, and which is his family's grateful for. And everybody 201 has said there was nobody nicer in this industry than George Wendt. And there's a Cheers restaurant in Boston. And if you go to where Norm would normally sit at the bar, there's a nameplate there that says Norm. That's screwed into the counter, a brass nameplate. And they did the bar equivalent of the Missing Man formation. They had an empty beer mug at his place, which was really nice.
Yeah.
But anyway, sad news.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Jeff, you want to do a speed round?
Sure. I thought this was kind of neat. Is that and it's not really a long article; it's a real short one. But it's that Kristen Ritter. Let's see here. I guess this was a Disney upfront presentation of something. I don't know what this was for, but she went on the stage with Charlie Cox at this thing, this Disney event, and basically they said, "Yeah, but Jessica Jones will be coming back in Daredevil Born Again season 2."
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah,
That's better than
yes,
than her coming back as the bee in Apartment 23.
yeah, pretty much.
Be
Yeah.
a very different show.
So
Or from our character in Veronica Mars?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was kind of a dip in Veronica Mars.
I
cool.
wanted to mention that Fan Expo Texas is having a Back to the Future cast reunion. And I think they're just calling it that because they got a ton of the actors to come for the show. And now I'm not seeing a list of the full actors, which I had
it's
seen
Michael J.
before.
Fox, Christopher Lloyd, Lee Thompson, and Tom Wilson. So Doc, Marty,
So
Biff,
in the ad for it that I saw earlier, they had more than just
Parade.
those 4 actors.
Oh, that's cool. Because
Yeah.
those 4 actors have been doing a lot of shows together. They've really been enjoying each other's company.
Well, that's nice.
They've been having an awful lot of fun, and
Lorraine.
well, and there was such a huge response to the After Dark thing that Universal was doing, which a friend of ours Eddie went, and he took a bunch of video, and our friend Rusty was playing Doc, and so he was doing a whole bunch of stuff like harassing Doc, asking him the hard questions, which was pretty funny.
That's fun.
But yeah, it was.
I was really disappointed that we couldn't make it out to Universal.
Well,
Universal had this Fan Fest days that looked really cool, and just with everything that was going on with Sean and I, we couldn't make it out there.
I couldn't Yeah, we just couldn't make the schedule work. But I hear from people who work in the park that it will be coming back and probably be even better than it was this year. And maybe even at the opposite end of the calendar. So maybe like September, October. Something that doesn't conflict with Hollywood Horror Nights, but they might do it. This Fan Expo event in New Orleans, they have an Enchantment Under the Sea dance, Back to the Future burlesque trivia, a DeLorean photo experience, Quack to the Future, which is apparently a rubber duck hunt across the convention, and a time traveler's scavenger hunt. It's there, and then they're screening the movie for the 40th anniversary. There's a Guitar Hero McFly showdown. Where they're playing Guitar Hero, which is funny, and then they're giving stickers and Mayor Goldie Wilson buttons and things like that. And I was looking for more of your cast members.
I looked through the site and it really only lists those 4 people. It says and more, but it doesn't have. I was really surprised that they appeared to be advertising both of the Marty's girlfriends.
Right.
But
if Elizabeth Shue goes, I'll be very surprised. But Claudia Wells, I see her at conventions all the time. We're convention friends, and she goes a lot.
It showed both of them.
Okay.
But I think what it was doing was showing all of the people who are in Back to the Future, not all of the people who are.
And
little misleading.
And this Fan Expo event, so like you go to the guests, and they don't have a list of the guests who are actually going to be there. It says past fan fave guests have included, and then they've got Michael J. Fox, Huey Lewis, Andy Serkis, Zach Levi, William Shatner, Chris Lloyd, Tony Daniels, Giancarlo Esposito. It's not saying these people are going to be there. It's like they have come to our event before.
That's rude.
Which I think is disingenuous.
Yeah, very.
So,
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean,
Just a smidgen.
Yeah, you would think that, and of course, I guess it tells you something about this event, because the first button on their menu is shop.
Right.
And any event that does that first is like less interested in running a really great event and more interested in getting money off of you.
Right.
Yep.
Sean?
Oh, let's see here. Hang on a second. Let me look. We had a thing before about a Star Trek opera, and the thing that's really funny about Star Trek opera, and this is called Abduction from the Seraglio, and it's a Mozart opera, and it's a parody that they have done before, and it's coming here to Los Angeles at the Thorne Auditorium in Occidental College. There have been many Star Trek operas, actually. I'm grateful for this one, though, because it is not in Klingon. Because there have been a lot of Klingon operas, too. But anyway, in February of next year, the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th, just 3 performances, they're going to be doing this this parody. And so it's like they've taken the regular characters' names like Belmont and made him Captain James T. Belmont and whatnot. But anyway, they're doing it in the 1960s era. And it's part of the Pacific Opera Project, and it seems kind of fun. I don't know how much tickets are. I'm trying to get it to tell me. Buy tickets. They go from $15 to $250.
Yikes.
$250 or something called pay it forward seats. So I think you get seats and some other people get seats. you're buying someone else's ticket and yours. So, interesting.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, it could be pretty fun, and but you have to like opera, and opera's an acquired taste. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no Klingon. I don't do Klingon opera.
Like beer.
Right. Jeff?
We have a trailer for a movie that I've seen the first one of, and I enjoyed it. So, if you've seen John Wick, the John Wick movies, any of them, this is by the same people that did that. They also did Violent Night with David Harbour, who was playing Santa.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the first one was called Nobody, and this is Nobody Part 2. And it looks like, at least from the trailer, it looks like they're leaning more into the comedy aspect of it. So that would be actually kind of, that looks really fun, because like it was Bob Odenkirk, and it's one of those typical like this guy who's just a regular dad working at this place was actually this special ops whatever guy, and he could wipe out a bunch of other people easily, kind of thing, but the way they handled it worked really well, because Bob's the the hero, so to speak. And this is one, it looks like a similar vein, I guess, to the first one, but it looks like there's a lot, they're leaning more into the comedy aspect, and I think that's gonna, I want to see it just for that too, because I enjoyed the first one, but this one looks a lot more fun.
Cool.
Another thing that's happening locally is the Tournament of Roses is opening its headquarters for free tours. And the mansion that is owned by the Tournament of Roses, which is, they're the people who run the Rose Parade, is the Wrigley Mansion in Pasadena. So if you are local in Southern California and you would like to tour the Wrigley chewing gum magnate,
His mansion, not the magnate.
Right. You can do it if you go on a weekday until the middle of August. So if you're ever available, I think it's on Thursdays, you can tour this mansion. I would do it if I were closer. Pasadena's
Nice.
a bit of a drive for a weekday.
Well, and we have a history with the Rose Parade in different ways. We both camped overnight to see it. I've marched in it. And Colleen grew up in an area where the Rose Parade was a fixture of the seasonal calendar.
Yeah.
And a lot of her, like, there was always an entry from her town, or several of them, to try to get into the court of princesses.
Oh, there were always people in the court, and also, the float building and everything. Yeah. The complimentary tours are Thursdays at 2 p.m. through August 28th. And it is an 18,500 square foot mansion. So, and it was built in 1914.
Cool.
Oh, that's cool.
So, there you go. They owned both the Wrigley Chewing Gum Company and the Chicago Cubs Wrigley Field.
Yes. And they had a Wrigley Field out here, too.
And they have another Wrigley mansion, but smaller, I believe, on Catalina Island.
Yeah, that's what I recall.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. I haven't been to Catalina in a long time.
Well, a lot of people were there this weekend for the Avalon Ball.
Mm-hmm. And it used to be free on your birthday.
Yeah.
You could take the ferry over.
Yeah.
Free on your birthday. I don't know if they still do it.
I don't think so.
That's a drag.
Sean, you have 6 minutes.
Okay.
To wrap
about when last we were on the air, we did a story about Cosmos 482, which was a Soviet lander that was supposed to land on Venus, and it made it into the upper atmosphere, and then the stage 2 didn't kick in. And so it didn't go any farther than our atmosphere. It never made it to Venus. So it was supposed to land there. Instead, it has landed back on Earth. It came down on the day between Colleen's and my birthday on the 10th of May. And it was up there for 5 decades. And it says its orbit was decaying. Now, the thing that's funny is that they were tracking this thing as much as they were able. Somebody took pictures of it, and it seems to, as near as we can tell, have fallen harmlessly into the sea somewhere between the South Asian mainland and the Eastern Pacific. So they don't know where it came down. It's lost. We may never find it. It's, kind of a bummer. So it's I think a meter in diameter. It's and it came down in one piece because it wasn't going to burn up in orbit because it was designed to make it through the heat of Venus. So kind of really crazy. So everybody was worried. What was it going to hit? What was it going to do? No, apparently it just splashed down somewhere. And we do not know where. So, that's that.
Oh, I thought they had said Indian Ocean or something, but wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All
well,
right.
I think that was the last place they saw it, and was like above the Indian Ocean. Yeah. So it's 3.3 feet in diameter, and it weighs about 1,200 pounds.
I'm glad it didn't land on me.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
or anyone's house, or start a fire in the California somewhere.
Right.
But man, we have
land on Disneyland. That
we
would
have
suck.
so much stuff in the atmosphere, all these Starlink satellites and things like that. It's like, well, we could not track this thing to see where it landed. That's a bummer.
I was hoping it would land on Mar-a-Lago, but that's what's.
Yeah, well, you can't win them all.
It would have been fitting.
All right, are we wrapping this sucker up?
I guess so. We've got about
4 minutes.
3 minutes here is what I see. As always, I will remind you that sci-fi.radio has music that you can listen to right off their webpage, and we have a lot of hosted shows, of which this is one. I have the morning show from 9 to 11 where I do music history every morning. Jeff sends me the birthday list, and we play whatever strikes my fancy, really. We did an extended set for the librarian from Ghostbusters, who turns out to have been in a lot of different projects, including Ross and Monica's grandmother in Friends. Which was pretty funny. Yeah. So we played a bunch of music. We try to have fun every morning, 9 to 11 Pacific time. We have a schedule up there that will be in your local time zone whenever you look at it, so you can see when our shows are going to be wherever you are on the planet. And if you've been watching us, you have seen us on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch. We are grateful to you wherever you happen to be. For those of you who are subscribing and supporting us, we're grateful for that too. It's the little stuff that keeps us going, and we appreciate it. We've been doing this show for 13 years and some change. We are creeping up.
Oh boy!
In the next, I guess, the next month, we're gonna hit our 14th year. We're gonna start in on our 14th year, so it's kind of crazy. So, if you've listened to us for any portion of that, we're grateful. And to all you guys in the chat, thanks for hanging out. Dawn is coming to the Upland Public Library, where Jeff and I are going to be, for the Star Wars event that's happening on Saturday, 1 to 4. It's a big Star Wars deal. I'll put what's left of my car on display. Don's going to show his. Jeff is going to show his. We'll see how it goes. Should be really fun. And... anybody else doing anything cool?
I'm going
Oh,
to
gosh,
the
that's mainly
Lanterman.
that.
I'm going to the Lanterman Summer Whites picnic,
Cool.
so that should be fun.
Very, very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the old
Yeah.
hometown of La Cañada.
And I get Monday off.
Yeah.
It's a holiday.
Because it's
Oh, there you
Memorial
go.
Day.
Yep.
Right.
Nice.
Well,
Yeah.
hope everybody has a terrific Memorial Day. And if you get the day off, go do something
Yeah,
neat.
totally.
Although I'll remind you that
Yeah.
beyond it being a holiday, museums are generally closed on Mondays. So,
Dough.
yeah, what a drag, right?
Yeah.
Boo. Anyway, thanks everybody. Be good people.
I'm calling Kaylee Crosby.
This is Jeff Solo Donoho.
I am Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby. As always,
May the Force be with
May the
you.
Force be with you.
All right, let's see here. Credits for the video, people. And
Yeah.
we will see all y'all later.